Welcome everybody to Panfish Nation. Along with Mark, I'm Lyle, and Mark, we got a different kind of show tonight.
We do, and I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. We're going to talk about fly fishing. We got Matt Wolbert in here, want to be outdoors, and Matt's going to tell us all about fly fishing and the things we need to know and don't know, and some of the stuff that I might ought to know a long time ago and don't. But we'll see how that works out. But before we get started with Matt, what do you say we talk to some of the people in chat, Mark?
I'd love to give everybody a shout out here. So I'm going to start at the top. I see my sister Betty at Couple Crosses Fishing in the House. What's up, Betty? I see Miss Annette Morgan. How you doing, dear? Chris Everett is here. Chucky Morgan's here. Miss Cindy Stokes. How you doing, Cindy? What's going on? Crappie Day Fish on. I see Creole Catfishing in the House. What's up, Jeremy? David Smith. How you doing? I see Fish Smack. What's up, Trey? Florida Fishing Guru. What's going on? Hillbilly Hippie in the house. There's Michelle from It's All Mine. How you doing? James Kirkpatrick. I see Jeremy Albritton. I believe so. Forgive me, Jeremy.
He'll be on our show in a couple weeks.
Awesome. I look forward to it. There's Jeremy Colvin Fishing. What's up, Jeremy? Joe Buck 66. K&B Anglers. Mr. Kim Burnett. How you doing, Kim? LG Bass in the house. Look, lady. I see Roger over at Muskrat Adventures. Real and Virtual Outdoors. How you doing, Troy? Sean Abney in the house. There's Josh, the Weekend Angler. Uncle Jeep. How you doing? And there's Matt. How you doing, Matt? I see Real Gals Fish will be fishing in the tournament this weekend. I'm looking forward to that Saturday morning.
Be a lot of fun.
I think that's everybody. If we missed anybody, we'll catch you on during the show and give you a holler out.
I see Van with V3 Customs in here, and David Smith and Creole Catfishing.
I hear Van's birthday's coming up. Happy early birthday, Van.
Absolutely. Real Gals is in there.
Mm-hmm. Chris Everett, if I missed you, bud, I apologize.
We got
Sean Abney.
Got a full house. I think we'll have a great show. So
and
let's
Avid
talk about fly fishing. There's Jeremy Colvin. Did we get him?
And Avid Fisherman.
How's it going, Jeremy?
Matt, how's it going?
Going pretty good. Going pretty good. This weather needs to kind of relax. And
I don't know about down in Arkansas. You're not that far from me, really, as a crow flies, but it's either raining or the wind's blowing.
Right.
Something all the time, and we need Mother Nature and Father Time to get together and spend a little time doing something else besides messing up the rest of us.
It's been beautiful here, Lyle, I have to tell you.
Father Time needs to take Mother Nature out on a date.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, Lyle, real quick. I see a new one out there. I see a Cindy Glidden. Welcome, Cindy. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. She's from Minnesota.
Glad to have you in here. Fishing and Freedom.
I wanted to tell you guys that it's an honor being on your show. I really appreciate it. I think I've been watching for a long time. So,
well, thank you so much. We're glad to have you, and I know that you do a lot of fly fishing, and I think that this Kim Burnett does a lot of fly fishing. He catches a lot of bluegill fly fishing.
he does.
And man, anybody that's ever caught fish on a fly rod knows how much fun it is. But when you catch bluegill the size of your hand or bigger,
Speaking of Kim Burnett,
you're set. You're ready to go. Tackle box Mike. But yeah, Hillbilly Hippie. We get going in these fly rods. What are you looking for in a fly rod that will get you where you want to go without going overboard? I mean, there's 2 weights, 3 weights, 5 weights, 10 weights, everything in between. How do you determine what you're going to need for the type of fish that you're going to use, Matt?
you got to determine what fish you want to catch first. That's where you go first. What are you mainly targeting? What is your main goal to get? Where are you going to go? I have found that really, unless you're going after something massive, like those bonefish or something like that, I wouldn't go above maybe 9 weight or something like 8 weight. 7 weight's the highest I would go because you can land a pretty good fish on a 7 weight.
Absolutely.
And I've seen people land 17-inch smallmouth bass on a 7 weight. My buddy in Texas lands striper on a 7 weight.
Oh wow!
So, yeah, it all depends on the line and how you handle the fish. Like the fly rod you made me is a 5 weight, and I have it is way too tall to be in here. I have 5-6 weight on my line on here on my reel, and my leader is I think it's a 8-pound, 10-pound, and my tippet is an 8-pound. So you can catch fish on this. You can catch bass. You can catch any size fish on this you want to catch. As long as you're not going out in the ocean. But what you really want to look for is the size fish you want to catch. And then when you go from there, obviously the smaller weights, the smaller fish. The bigger the weight, the bigger the fish. I mean, you can see them on TV catching, some crazy big fish in the ocean with fly rods.
Absolutely.
Chad has the same question that I was just going to ask. So the higher the number, when you're talking about the weights on the lines, the heavier, the more stout the line is, correct?
Right. The more strong the blank that the rod's built on.
Okay.
But it applies to fly line and the rod that you have, because they match a 7 weight line up to a 7 weight rod, or a 5-6 or a 3.
Right.
You buy 3 weight line for a 3 weight rod.
Gotcha.
And it also depends on the fly too.
It does.
You can't throw heavy. I can throw probably maybe a 12. Maybe I forget what it was, but I can throw a decent size for what I could go for on this rod.
Yeah.
And the bigger the flies, the heavier the rod has to be. The stronger the line has to be.
Okay.
The 6 weight line that I have, it shoots perfect out of that fly rod. When I'm going forward, I'm releasing. I mean, it's just smooth. You can just hear it.
That's
that's what you want. You want the smooth. If it's too heavy of a fly, or the line doesn't match the rod, or it's too many sizes above the rod, you're gonna break the rod.
Yeah.
Or you're just not gonna be able to cast.
Right.
So it relates to everything, to the weight of the fly or the lure. For those of you that don't understand what the fly is, the weight of the line and the tensile strength and the thickness, I imagine, the gauge of the line, and what the rod can handle. Correct?
That is correct.
All right.
Now, as far as a lot of people is going to ask, what is a tippet? And a tippet is a piece of monofilament on the end of your fly line that extends out past the line, and that's what you tie your fly on. Now, mine has 4. I didn't buy a tippet because you can buy them any size you want. I use 4-pound test line because
you can use regular. You can use regular rod. You can use regular fluorocarbon, but this is
that's
what I'm using right now.
Yep.
The fluorocarbon tippet from PC Fun. I like it. I like experimenting. I never used it. I've seen they come out with it. So I tried it, and it's been working really well.
So
I've used the Orvis. I've used Scientific Angler. I mean, I've used a lot of them, and
all good products.
This one, they all have their own means, but this one right now is the one I'm using.
So what's the difference between using like a 4-pound test and an actual purchased tippet? Is there any difference in them besides the price?
It's cheaper and I had it on hand. I didn't have a tippet.
Okay. I just didn't know if there was a certain loop knot in it already or
In my mind, a tippet is bigger diameter on the part that you attach to the fly line, and then it thins out as it goes down.
Yeah.
Or they used to be that way.
So it's tapered.
You have the leader, and then you have the tippet. The leader is thicker, and it gets from the fly line itself to from the fly line itself Yes, my fly line is orange like everything else. It has a loop on the end,
Right.
and I tied a loop on my leader, so I looped it together.
Right.
That way, if something happens, I can take it off real quick.
Real
Okay.
quick.
And it gets thick. It starts thick where the line is, and it gets thinner all the way up.
Kim says he used a furrow leader.
For a leader,
Or-
okay. And where it goes inside of the line, and you light it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I know. I've seen those. Didn't know that's what you called them, but yeah.
I think that's what it is. I'm not technical with the names. I can
I understand.
you say I need this, I know what to look for. I mean, that's pretty much, you know.
Right. And I have, when I built that rod for you, I liked it so well. I built one just like it for myself, except I don't have a decal or nothing on it. And I'll put that on there sometime. Hello, Richard. How you doing? But the action of that rod was very impressive. Once I got yours done, I liked it really well, and that's what I've been playing around with here. And I think that is very nice for general all round. You could catch a bass or two on it if you wanted to. You can catch um, um, bluegill on it. You could catch crappie on it. But my next one that I build, if I build me another, it'll be a 3 weight. I think that would be more suited for the size bluegill that I'm catching.
Right.
And man, that ought to be a blast.
Oh yeah. Three weight will put a fight on there for you. Those are really light. I mean,
I've never used a 3 weight before. 5.6 is
like
as small as I ever used.
It's like an ultralight, basically an ultralight rod. And if you've seen anybody's seen a Fluger ultralight rod, those things are just, I mean, the wind blows and it's going.
I got James Dockery hooked on one. He didn't know if he could do a fly rod. He never had one, so he went to Walmart and bought one. And I think that's the only thing he's used for the last several days. He's even got his wife Katie catching fish on it now. It's very addictive. It's like everything in our sport. If you like to do it, if you like to catch fish, you can't hardly pick up a fly rod and not have a good time. You just can't, because it's like a micro light fishing rod that's 9 foot long.
The good thing about fly rods I love is that it don't matter if you know fish are there or not. You know something's going to hit that fly rod.
That's right.
You know something's going to hit that. It don't matter how big the fish is going to be. I mean, it could be like that. You still know something. It's the anticipation. You know something's going to hit that fly.
And Kim told me that you're trying to make your flies look like bugs, and that's as good an analogy as I can come up with, because they don't even if they just look buggy, they don't have to look like a specific kind of bug. If they just look buggy, that's what them fish eat a high percentage of the time. Those small fish are eating insects and stuff, and if you can make it look like an insect, they're going to hit it. They just are. And there's certain colors I think that produce fish better than others. Black is one that I think produces really well. I think that red on black and red stuff, red relates to blood in any aspect of fishing or hunting or anything like that.
Yeah.
And if there's enough light in the water that they can see that, I think it attracts them. That's just me.
I agree. To answer Crappie Dave's question, is a 6-7 weight too heavy for gills or crap? No, I wouldn't say it is. But you might have a hard time if you go 7 weight with the flies because they're lighter. If you use a weighted fly like a nymph or a weight forward or a bead fly, you'll be okay. But I don't think a six weight would be pretty good. There's so many. You can use it for so many things. 6-7 weight. The 5 weight. From 5 to 7, I think those are universal. You can use those for anything. All you have to do is change the line, and that's it.
And what we're talking about stuff that what we think that would work for you really well. Once you start doing it, you might find that you want something different.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, but I got to send a message here. I got a message from Docker. He's eating ice cream.
Probably, Dave, what I would do is I would get a line. If you're going to get a 6-weight and you want to go for crappie and bluegill, I would get maybe a 5-weight line or a 6-weight line. I wouldn't go a 7-weight line. Just, you want to weight forward, float. And because that's what, floating, weight forward line, the that's WF. Right.
And maybe you'll be good. Explain that to the people in chat that don't know. How you guys are talking about the weight of the line. It's actually the weight you're using. You're not putting split shot or anything on there.
No.
You're using the weight of the line to actually cast.
The weight of the line is what you're casting. You're casting the line, and then you have the tippet that is the extension of the line that tosses the fly out there.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. If you can see it, I mean, you can't see it on camera, but if you look it up, you can see they show diagrams of fly line to where the thickness of actual fly line itself is thicker on the end. And then you have your leader, which continues the thickness, but then it goes thin. So what that's doing is when you're casting and it's coming back, all that momentum is bringing it back forward.
That's
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The line delivers the fly, not you. That is 100% correct. That's 100% correct. And like I say, if you can make something buggy, you're probably going to catch some fish on it. Black is a real good color. Red's a real good color. The other day, I was catching them on a yellow topwater gurgler. And it had like a streamer effect on the top of it. And I didn't hook up with a lot of them, but they kept hitting it. I think they was hitting the tail on it was too long because they was getting the tail and they wasn't getting the hook. So now I've shortened up the tail on some of those. I think I tried, but it was yellow, and it was working really good.
Yeah, even something like this, I mean, it doesn't represent nothing, but I mean, it's got legs.
Yep.
And, it's got the rubber legs on it, and they're going to hit it. They hit it all the time.
That's right. Buck Williams says you don't always have to whip cast. You can roll cast, and that is correct. A roll cast, you just flip the line, and it'll just run out there like a spiral on your line. It'll run out there, and it'll just cast your line for you. That does take practice, but once you figure it out, it's handier to pocket on a shirt. If you're in tight areas where you got trees and stuff around, you don't have to do this. You can just roll it like that, and the line will just run out there for the length of how much ever line you have out.
You got to make sure you bring it up like you're going to cast, but you don't cast it. You're basically rolling your wrist so it rolls the line.
Now, Matt, for me, there is some arm movement in a fly rod when you're doing it, but a high percentage of it for me is from the elbow down, and a whole lot of it's in the wrist for me.
Right.
How does that work for you?
Yeah, this is basically it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it. Sometimes when my shoulder starts to hurt because I had surgery on it, I'll switch it up sometimes. I'll just start roll casting, or doing different things. But yeah, it's mainly from the hip. I usually pin my elbow against my hip and just roll.
Josh says, Matt, do you usually bring more than one fly with you when you're out fly fishing? Asking for a friend.
Josh, I actually like to catch my own flies. So if you have any around your house, you can go ahead and send them to me. I might use them, might not. But yeah, I bring a few. That's just one. I have a smallmouth box or bag in there that I had to take them out because I ran out of room. I had to get a new box.
Well, Frontline Flathead says, had a fly fisherman at a local pond help me catch bait this week. Definitely wanting to give it a try. Now old timer kicked my butt with that fly. And, I brought that to to our attention is because when we do the stock or trout season, you got all the guys out there with their power bait, right?
Mhm.
Along came this one guy one time with a fly rod and a fly on the end, and he was limited out in literally like 20 minutes. Everybody
Yeah,
else sitting around,
the rest of them didn't have.
and exactly, it was pretty incredible to see. So that
Well,
That's what a lot of people do when they go to stalker ponds or stalker rivers or whatever. They'll get that trout dough or whatever it's called, and just make a little ball. I mean, you can nail them if you're right next to the hatchery, but if you're out there in water where they get bigger and they actually get away from the stock.
Well, yeah, these were definitely hatchery fish, yeah, and it wasn't a little pond too, so it's not like a river. So
if you creek fish and there's a place that is not loaded with trees, trust me, you can get in a tree if you're not careful. You
I do
can't.
it once or twice, maybe 20 times.
But there's nothing. If you're going after bluegill, if you need them to eat, if you need them to catfish with, whatever the reason, there's not a more fun way to catch them on a fly rod. Now, I dearly love jig fishing bluegill, but I would like to have bigger ones than I normally catch if I'm jigging them. With a fly rod, it doesn't make any difference what size they are. They're all fun.
Right. And with the fly rod, I mean, usually they say when you're jigging them, bigger jigs, bigger fish. A fly rod, no matter what size of fly you're going to use, you're going to catch every size of brim that there is out there. I mean, even small ones will go up and smack that big fly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Tackle Box Mike, it's a Cabela 3 forks, 8 weight, or 8 foot, 5 weight. That'll work perfect for bluegill.
Yeah, that'll work good for bluegill.
And it's probably a little easier to practice with than a 3 weight or a 2 weight, something like that. They're a little harder to use. But now,
they're flexible, very flimsy. There goes D. Yeah, sorry, Chad.
She wants to learn how to fly fish, and we're going to have to make that happen. Chad don't know how, so we're going to have to teach her.
I just want to see him try.
I want to see him throw like a real expensive fly rod into a pond somewhere. That would be something to watch.
Oh, no.
No, it wouldn't. I'd probably cry.
I wouldn't build fly rods for years because for me to do them, I wanted when I put a wrap on a rod, I want it to look like it's a ribbon. I don't want you to be able to tell that there was ever any separation or as little separation between each thread wrap as you can make one. And I couldn't see good enough to do it. Even with bifocals and lights and everything in the world, I just couldn't do them, so I wouldn't build them. And I had cataract surgery here a while back, and they put lenses inside my eyes. They cut them and slip lenses up inside. I know that's kind of graphic, but anyhow, I have really struggled since they done that with certain things that I do, seeing certain things. And I don't have to wear bifocals no more. I can wear reading glasses, but they don't always get it. Like driving, trying to see how fast you're going. You can't read stuff like that. But where it has helped is building rods or tying jigs or flies because I can see that stuff a lot better than I could before. So I have built some, and I built a 13-footer for a guy that fishes salmon up in Alaska for a friend of mine. It was for his boss, and there's a lot of money can be spent on fly rod. The blank for that build was $600, and that's before you ever build it. I mean, it was a high dollar Sage blank, and
well, that Sage I had that I showed you that broke in 2 places when I was casting it. I didn't hit a tree. I didn't hit nothing.
Right.
I was just coming forward, and all of a sudden I heard a snap.
Oh.
And the tip just broke, and I called Sage, and I messaged them, and they said it's going to be about $375 to fix it. And I said, well, that's pretty much a new rod.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was just like, I'm just going to go ahead and go somewhere else and get a new rod.
Yeah. Well, I hope you like the one that I got you. I liked it well enough. I built me one just like it. Same color.
I love that rod. I want to get another one. and just good. I mean, it shoots so good. It's so smooth. I mean, the way the line just releases from it, and the way that the rod just flows, you can feel the rod and the line when they're together. You know, there's a difference between when the rod's in front of the line to when you go to cast, and you feel that whip.
Mm-hmm.
When the rod and the line are in tandem, it's just smooth. I mean, it just, every time I would hear it just going through the eyes, I just sit there and grin from ear to ear, just like, wow, this thing is smooth. And I would never release the fly. I just kept doing it. I'm just like, dang, this thing. Somebody's like, what are you doing? I was like, don't you hear this?
Isn't that cool?
Josh, the Weekend Angler has a question. He says, I see people mention wet flies and dry flies. I'm clueless. What's the difference between the two?
That's a great question.
Is that a serious question, Josh?
Yeah.
Well, the difference is one of them, basically when you put it on top of the water, it'll float. It's lightweight. The different kind of hairs or materials that it has and the weight of it keeps it on top of the water. And, you know, it'll eventually get wet and go down. But when you start casting or start rolling again and you go to shoot it again, it'll float again because it's the material and the hair keeps it, you know, dries it off really fast, basically, in layman's terms. A wet fly, it has that weight to it to where it goes under the water. You know, it's basically like a nymph.
It sinks.
Or, yeah, it sinks. Like Kim's house fly. It's a wet fly because it has the two weighted eyes. I mean, it's not much weight, but it's weight enough to get it under the water.
Right.
So the dry fly will float and the wet fly will sink.
And then you can build them like this, where this one is designed to set up on top of the water.
That's foam, right?
That's foam wrapped around it with a feather palmered around it, and then it's got the red on it. I just like red and orange. I like orange too.
And believe it or not, this popper right here.
Poppers are magic.
Yeah. I caught my biggest brim. It was years ago. I caught my biggest brim on a popper. And it was right next to shore. It was the green popper.
Cool.
And it hit, and I just went blank, the terminology. I was jerking it, kind of, you know, popping it, and within seconds, it came out of the lily pads and just annihilated it. That's why, you know, the poppers and the foam are really good because no matter what, they're going with the water.
That's correct.
And they look like, you know, a beetle or, you know, because that one you just showed, looks like a perfect one of those black beetles.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's exactly right. And then Buck Williams has got a great point here too. You don't have to use flies all the time. You can drift bait with a fly rod also. Just don't let the fly fishing pursuit guys see you. They will shame you. That is correct.
The purists, yeah, they're bad.
Yeah, you could even use indicators as a float.
It is, and
those are bobbers, aren't they?
Well, they call them indicators in the fly fishing.
They're indicators, Mark.
This one is another one that I built the other night, and it has green in it. Of course, you can't see the green. You just have to imagine it. It's a little bigger than the others, but I think that one will set up on top there. It's got the little jiggly legs, you know.
Yeah.
I think that'll do really good. I called Kim, or messaged Kim the other day, and he was talking when he was on our show about indicators, and I couldn't remember what he had said. And
There's more of them.
Can I get those? He says, I can't get them. Give him a full screen here.
There's more indicators.
Yeah. That's I've seen those before. And he said, I don't think you can get them anywhere except up here where I'm at. So he got 4 and sent them to me the other day. I like them. They're white, and your line goes in them, and you take a little twist, and you can move them up and down on your line without removing them. Very nice. Uh, Surely, I mean, I got Bass Pro, the main headquarters. Got to be something around here that I don't have to have Kim get me that stuff all the time. But it was very, very nice of him to do that, and I appreciate it.
Kim Burnett says you have to wait longer with a three-weight. They're like a buggy whip. I have a I am a glass 3-weight. I have no idea what that means, guys. Can you help me out?
I'm going. It's just the brand name, just the name of the.
IMX is a what the blank is made out of. It's a graphite. Yeah. Here's a great analogy from Trey at Fish Smack. He said an indicator is $15 and a bobber is a buck. That's so true.
It's kind of like the difference between a pair of Sims waders and a pair of Frog Togs, right? It's like
this is from Scientific Angler. That's where I used to buy a lot of my stuff at. And those are those indicators I showed you. They're $3.75 for 3 of them.
Yeah, Kim says.
I mean, look how small they are. That's crazy.
Fly fishing is not an inexpensive hobby. A lot of the fly shops are very proud of what they have, and you could, but if you can find the stuff online, you can save yourself some money.
Yeah.
That's
like, why I went with PC Fun, because their prices were pretty fair. Their prices were really fair.
And that PC Fun reel that you sent me, that is on my fly rod.
How did that work?
That's a very nice reel.
Is it smooth? Does it work okay?
It is. Okay. It's very nice. It must be one of their high end jobs because it works really well. I like it.
It was. I won it in the giveaway, and that's when I called you and we talked. But yeah, it was their newer high end one.
I have a brand new Martin. And I don't even know if Martin's still in business, but it's a smaller reel. They used to all be smaller, if you remember back years ago. I bought this thing probably 25 years ago, and the box got tore up or something, but it still had the paperwork in it from when it was brand new, and
really
had line on it. It's smaller. And when I got the line and stuff to put it on that reel I got from you, then I bought enough that I could put backing and line on that Martin, and I'll probably use it on the one that I have up here that what's his name over in Bennett Springs built for me years ago. He built it for me in 1983. It had been used but a handful of times. Charlie Redding, and I've said this before, people may get tired of me saying the same stuff over and over. Charlie Redding is probably the greatest rod builder, and all he builds is fly rods, but he can tell you how to do any of them. But he's probably the greatest rod builder of all times. He's 3-4 years behind on builds all the time.
Right.
And if you want him to build you one, you just know going in it's going to be a while. It's the way it is. He has a beautiful fly shop, and he'll teach. Once you pick something up from him or buy something from him, he'll take you out there. If you don't know how to use it, he'll show you how to use it. And he's a great instructor, and he's got the patience of Job, because he went through that with me 30 years ago, and I thought, man, I'll never get the hang of this. But, you do. He's just that good.
Yeah, and I don't like to deter people from going to Wally World or anything. I don't really like going there. If you are just starting out, like you said, Mr. Dockery went there and he picked out his. They have a pretty good selection depending on where you are. For beginners to start out, the fly selection, they have the woolly boogers, they have a bunch of stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to start. That's a good way to practice, or a good way to just knock the dust off.
Right. We don't have that kind of stuff here at Small Mart where I live. We have the world's smallest Walmart, but James lives up around Kirksville, and it's a college town, so I'm sure that they have a lot of places to fish up there. But he showed me a picture of what he got. Knew nothing about it. Of course, but he's having good luck with it, good success, and he's having a good time. That in itself is a wonderful thing. Some talk bad about PC Fun stuff, but I have had great luck with their stuff. I have 5 of their Chaos 60 reels and mobile. Hey, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear reports like that.
Here's my new creek bag from PC Fun. And this thing, it's a sling bag. And I've been looking for one of these, and the price for these is ridiculously awesome. And I love it. I fit a lot of my gear in here. I can put my fly stuff in here. I can take an extra rod because it has the extra rod holder. You know, it's because I don't ever go anywhere without my fly rod, or if I take my fly rod, I'll take my spinning rod. You know, so I love their gear. I have PC Funds on all my casting, so I love their stuff.
Way cool. Jeremy, I just seen this message and I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm sorry, but I get to visiting with Matt and Mark, and I only catch bits and pieces of what's in the chat. So Mark usually picks up my slack.
But, I'm listening to you guys talk. I'm trying to keep up with chat and listen to you guys at the same time. I don't know this.
I'm glad to hear good reports from new upstart companies. Now, I know that PC Fun and some of the others have been in business for a while. But a lot of us, like me, I'm hardcore Abu Garcia. You're going to have to show me something to get me away from it. But this reel, it has showed me something. I really like it. I mean, it's high quality. I see nothing wrong with it. I'd buy one. If I was looking for a new reel today, that's the first place I'd look. And you know, fly shops and stuff don't handle them. You know, that's something that you buy online. As far as I know, I've never seen any of their stuff in any of the stores, and they're not the only.
You can't buy it in the store.
You can't.
You can't buy it in the store. You cannot.
Okay.
And a lot of stuff you buy in stores, if you think about it, you see that, and you go on and price it, and then you go into a store and see one kind of like it. There's a vast price difference. I mean, it's huge. You know, I mean, that one was how much that one was, and then the other one's going to be like 500, you know, 400, 300, whatever. So, you know, what they have in the store, they're going to up the price on you. Yeah, that's why you have to do your homework and, you know, look around.
Due diligence. Chad. Right. I would love to see Mike bump with a fly rod.
You can catch skipjack on a fly rod.
You can, yeah. You can.
I've done it. It is fun.
I want to tell you, there's not too many fish that fight any harder and jump any further out of the water than skipjack.
Right.
They just are not. I've said since the first time I ever caught a skipjack, if bass fishermen ever caught skipjack, they'd quit fishing for bass and they'd be skipjack tournaments. They're that.
Or they try to use a skipjack for bait.
Yeah, that's right.
Put hooks in it or something. Try it out there as a bass lure.
Oh man, I'm thinking Mike and I need to get together and I'll get him hooked up with a fly rod. Let's see if he can bump the Mississippi.
That I want to see.
Catfish Fever and Outdoors says, I wonder how fun carp would be on a fly rod. There's a lot of people that carp fish with a fly rod. You can
that's a fight.
That.
That's a fight.
That's 8 and 9 weight rods come in handy.
Right. Yeah, that's a fight too. No matter what weight rod you have, that's a fight because they're just so strong and durable, and they're the fight lasts forever, and
love to run.
Just crazy. Yeah, and that black beetle that you showed me, now you said carp, they use that a lot they use those. Yeah, like looks like a black bug to fish for carp. I've seen them in some England. That's the right terminology. Yeah,
big in England.
Yeah, I've seen them use those. Look just like that, and they'd kill them. I mean, the carp just destroy those.
Wow. I'll find out if there's any in the creek one of these days.
We have a gentleman here at one of my channel cat spots that he bank fishes. He fly fishes for carp early in the season, probably right before spawn, I'm guessing. But he just has a little piece of sponge he puts out there, and he puts a couple drops of his scented oil. He just lays it up there on top of the water, and they come up and slurp it up. It's pretty cool to see.
I'll bet.
Really?
I'll bet.
That's cheating. That's cheating like that live scope stuff.
Hey, Mark, do we have the giveaway tool pulled up?
We do, Lyle.
That is awesome because I have some thumper jigs to give away tonight and some ZFG jigs to give away tonight.
All right, we'll start. Okay. We'll do. You want me to do two separate ones, or should we just have everybody enter once?
You can. I don't care.
All right. I'm gonna do a hashtag of. Let me change this real quick.
I won't be like Mark and get in on it. I'll just stay out of it.
Okay.
That's your loss. I'm going to get in on this.
These thumper jigs are amazing. The more I look at them, the better quality I see coming from these guys. I'm so glad they contacted us because I know these are great products. And of course, the ZFGs, they speak for themselves.
Tender love and care.
That's right.
No, Lyle, I forgot that I was going to send something else to you, but I forgot to put it in with the other stuff.
Okay.
But there is. Make sure you check that whole thing.
Okay.
There's some jigs I don't use. I was going to send to you. Maybe you could retie them or whatever.
Okay. These are thumper jigs. Ain't them cool?
Oh yeah, yeah.
One of my favorite colors are pink. I love pink jigs.
Just kidding, folks. Danny Stone has a cool little factor. He says, I know this is way off in left field. I use a fly rod with a fly to catch bullfrogs during frog season.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
I've seen guys use just pieces of red material on a hook, catch them.
No.
They'll reach out there and try to eat them, and you got them.
I've caught frogs on topwater frogs. Seriously, they're carnivores. They'll eat. They're animals.
Yeah. Green machine.
You got to think about that. That's true though, because Danny's got a point. That's what they eat. They eat flies and
bugs, everything. Yep.
Bugs.
That's bugs is bugs. And I had I
saw that right away.
Yeah, buddy. Kim Burnett.
Let me get on that. I'll get on that.
I thought you were getting on there, Matt.
Thank you, Kim. We appreciate it so much.
If that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and I'll do a giveaway on one of these creek bags.
Oh,
and what I'll do is if you do the giveaway, the person will contact me and then I'll order it and just have it shipped to them.
Oh wow,
that's very kind of you.
That is huge. Thank you, Matt.
Now I feel bad I'm not in it, but good luck, everybody.
I can't get in it, but I just wouldn't feel right about that. But that is a great prize, Ken. Thank you so much, Matt. That'll be awesome.
So everybody entering free jigs. We're going to use that same hashtag for all the drawings. I'm going to let this simmer for a little bit. We'll bring it back up before we do the draw.
Matt, is there anything else and for beginners or people that are trying to get into the fly fishing that we need to touch on tonight?
Yeah, when you slam your ultralight rod in the door of your Jeep, just be thankful it wasn't your fly rod.
Yeah,
I might have done that. I might have done that to a certain orange rod this week, but we're not going to talk about that.
I thought I had the rod out, and I turned around and I shut the door, and all I heard was snap. And I'm like, "Yep, okay, that happened."
I have several of them that used to be 7 and 7'6" ultralights that are now 6'8", 6'9", where this much of it got shoved in the tailgate or the top. I have one of the tops that slams down over top of it, so people can't see what's in the bed. I've got a couple of them that way. I haven't broken any of Cindy's yet. I'm not like Chad. I don't throw hers in the water or tear them up. I take care of hers. It's always mine.
It's because you love her. You love Cindy.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chad despises Dee because she catches all the fish.
Here's another tip. Don't drop your rod locker doors in your boat on your $200 St. Croix either. I've done
Yeah,
that.
I think that would work out real well.
That shears the tips of them right off.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Oh man.
Well, something for beginners of fly fisher. I don't want to say men, fisher women, fisher people, I guess.
Anglers.
Go with a 5 weight, 6 weight. Don't go too heavy. Don't go too light. Like Kim had mentioned earlier, a 3 weight is like a bullwhip, basically. What's all the species?
Yeah, so Ricky over at Solotex Adventures asking, Matt, what all species have you caught using a fly rod?
Caught all kinds of the whole brim family, basically the whole panfish family. So from crappie, shellcracker, warmouth, brim, whatever you want to call them. Let's see, what else? I've caught smallmouth. I've caught largemouth. I've even caught red tail sucker. Caught red tail sucker in the White River. Caught skipjack.
Blast. Had to be.
Yeah. That'll. Don't do it around a bunch of other people that are trying to catch skipjack, because they'll just look at you like you're an idiot, and then they'll basically get mad because you basically catch them all. But I've caught a lot of fish, Ricky. I've caught a lot of fish on my fly rod. I have taken my fly rod when I used to take my daughter swimming to a little pond, and just it's like a community lake or whatever. I'd go over there and just catch little baby brim or baby bass just to do it because I just love doing it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've caught walleye in the White River. So it's up there in species.
If or when I get into fly fishing, one of the species I want to chase is pike with streamers. That looks like an awful lot of fun. That's definitely on my list to do.
Working on some streamers. I had a guy ask me about that here a couple of weeks ago, but it was before we went to Mendota, and we'll get to talking about Mendota. I kind of get a one-track mind, I have to get other stuff done.
Here's where I was catching those the walleye and the bass, basically.
Now, do you tie flies, Matt?
I don't.
Okay.
It's hard for me to tie them. I mean, I have the equipment to do it, like the clamp. It was befriended to me by a really generous person, really good guy. But I'm gonna start doing jigs here eventually. But my hands, with the nerve damage I was telling you about, my hands don't work right. The flies are too small.
Yeah, I understand.
Cramp up.
Well, I know a guy.
I know a couple. I was saying the for beginners, I'd go with the 5 weight or 6 weight.
That's mid pack. Yeah, that's where I'd start out if I was going to do it. I have 2 5 weights, and I've got a couple of 9 weight blanks. I've got 2 that my brother. I think I told you this last week when Kim was on here. I have my brother-in-law brought 2. I mean, one of them is a G Loomis blank, and the other, not sure what it is. But they're very high quality blanks, and one of them was started, and the other's not. Don't have no guides or nothing on them, and not sure what they are, but I think they're 7 or 8 weights. They're a little bit testy compared to the 5 weights, but I'm going to do them, and your brother Chad forgot to tell me about D needing a fly rod, so I got to get on that pretty quick.
I need a fly rod too. Don't. Happy Day Fish On is asking, White River, you got to be somewhere close to me. Where do you live, Matt? You're in northern Arkansas, correct?
I'm in northern Arkansas. There's a few white rivers, just like there's one big long red river that runs up north all the way down to Creole. It goes through me as well. The White River, I'm not sure where he lives, but yeah, I'm in northern Arkansas.
Fishing the Mid-South. Welcome. LG Bass, Parker Pursuits.
Let me grab something real quick.
Absolutely.
You know what? While we're waiting on Matt, maybe we should do one of the giveaways. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. We got 40 people entered.
What are we giving away first so that people know what
Let's do the ZFG jigs first.
ZFG jigs? Here we go. Let her rip. D, I do not have a Krampus Kane. Winner, Lance McCougai. What's going on, Lance? Congratulations. You want some ZFG jigs. He knows how to get a hold of you, right, Lyle?
He does.
Lance, get a hold of Lyle, whether it's through his email from the About page, or you can get a hold of him through Facebook, I believe.
Kim Burnett says 5-weight all the way. For a beginner, I don't think you can do better than a 5-weight. Even if it's a 5.6, and so, depending on the company, they will have 4 5s or 5.6s. But a 5-weight, they're pretty much an all-round great choice. James Dockery is entered in the giveaway. You know, I said some pretty nice things about James here recently.
I couldn't find him.
I hope that he's nice to me because I'd hate to have to take all them back.
Sorry, James, he's taking them back.
That'll be fine, Lance. Just let me know what your shipping address is, and I'll get them right out to you. You're going to love them. The guy that
But you hope he's nice to you? Shouldn't you expect him not to be?
Dockery?
Yeah.
Never nice to me.
But you hope he's nice to you. You should expect him not to be nice to you.
He really is. He really is pretty nice to me. We message back and forth, but he's so cruel at the same time. I mean, he knows that it's either raining or windy down here every day where I haven't been able to get out and go fishing, and yet he'll continually send me fish pictures every day. Every day.
Doesn't
he does.
He's brutal. Hey, I like your hat, Mark. I hadn't seen that. Fishing.
Yeah, I got this one a while back. Ordered it. You can get it from Keith's store over on Etsy. He's got a store out there. So
did not know that.
T-shirts out there too. Yep. James Dockery says,
you told me.
James, what?
I didn't even know what Etsy was until you told me one night.
Okay. Yep.
Never heard of it before.
I figured since he was coming on Monday, I saw the hat on my shelf. I'm like, I should watch it.
Be a big show Monday. If you know anybody that's interested in doing stuff, and I got to get that all put up and get it out there. But Dieter Melhorn, Keith from Fishing and Stuff, Bob Britt, maybe one more guy if he'll commit. I can't get a. I've been told that he's going to do it, but he's not told me that he is. And it'll be huge if this guy comes in here. It'd be huge. So we'll see. I can't say because I don't know, but I was so impressed with the information that Bob shared about videotaping and stuff when he was on our show. That
another piece of equipment I would highly advise getting is a case, a hard case.
Yeah, because they're easily broken.
Yeah. Doesn't take me.
Where do you get those? Where do you have a place that you recommend for people to look for cases?
It all depends on what kind of rod you have, I guess, because some of them are 3-piece, some of them are 2-piece rods. I got mine at Bass Pro Shop for, I think, $20.
Matt, have you ever hooked yourself?
Ricky's got another question. Matt, have you ever hooked yourself while using your fly rod? I've seen that happen with a lot of newbies who try to use them.
What's next question?
Do the cases float? Asking for a friend. Lyle. I mean, Chad wants to know from field to water.
Yeah, it floats.
It floats. Yep.
It floats.
Phones don't float. Phones don't float. fishing rods as a general rule, catfish
Well,
rods.
you kind of got to take the rod out of the case in order to use it, Chad. So at least
Yeah.
you're cutting down
Right,
some
right.
of the exposure risk.
I'm
For
sure
your
if there's a fly rod in your house, Chad, it's not yours.
If everyone ends up at his house, it's Dee's. I promise you that. She's done made that crystal clear. Oh man.
You want to do another giveaway since we got a couple more to do?
I think that's a great idea. We'll do
And
the thumper jigs next.
thumper jigs, here we go. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows.
But yeah, these.
Hillbilly.
I mean,
Hillbilly Hippie, congratulations. Lyle, how would you like him to get in touch with you?
Same way. You can either contact me through Messenger or by email, Lyle at panfishnation@gmail.com.
I don't even have my forceps with me.
I do.
I don't.
I keep many with me. I got 3 or 4 of them around here because I'm doing jigs and stuff all the time while I'm.
This is one of my very go-to flies.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nymph. It doesn't matter what time of year it is, cold, hot. I dropped it.
See, that's one of the things. These small baits and small parts. That's why I kind of refrain from not being
No, I got it.
refrain from using them.
What is that supposed to represent? Do you know?
It's like a nymph,
But is it
like a larva.
larvae or some kind of bug? Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's got the green and purple in it. It's got a little bit of flash, but the flash to me really doesn't matter. I think the flash is more for the fishermen.
You know,
But
I think
those
that's probably true.
those larva type, the nymphs, they say, oh, you can only use this fly during this time or whatever. I've never had that problem. I think it's basically it's like the full moon aspect. You can't catch nothing on a full moon.
I don't believe
If
that.
it sees an insect, it's going to eat it because they're going to be hungry.
That's exactly right.
922 Crappie Barbecue says it's a bloat fly.
Yeah.
There's Catfishing with Kaz getting in on the drawing.
Heck yeah. Hi, Brenda. How you doing?
A beadhead nymph.
Yeah. And don't worry, I'm drinking water. It's water. Just water.
Very good. We don't want to wait too long because we want to make sure Kim's in here when we give away his fly.
We can do that if you'd like.
I don't. Where we at on? Are we got about the same amount of people in on this one?
It's actually there. It hasn't changed. I haven't re-entered. All I did was we keep pulling out of free jigs, so we can give them if you haven't entered, if you enter in hashtag free jigs, all one word, you'll be entered to win. If you already are entered, you don't need to do it again. We'll give them a minute or two. What do you think, Lyle?
That's fine. That works for me.
All right.
Hey, wow, that red one that you tied up.
Yes, sir.
I just remembered I have one kind of similar.
Very nice. Very nice. There's no end to what a guy that has the equipment and the time and the want to that you can make. You know,
Yeah.
Kim Burnett goes live every Wednesday evening before he does a show with SK and ties jigs for an hour or so. And a lot of times through the week, Kim will go live. And if you just pay, he's not the only one, but in my mind, Kim and Eric are 2 of the best. So,
Yeah.
and I feel close to both of those guys, and I trust what they tell me is going to be right. So, if you watch Kim, and when he's tying these jigs, he'll explain to you if you're in the chat and you got a question, he'll answer your question in chat and never miss a beat and stop. He'll just keep talking the whole time. So if you get a chance to watch Kim do that, and speaking of Eric Massey, we had Eric scheduled for tonight. He had sent me a message and said, hey, I'm going to have the first Thursday in June off. If we want to do a show, that'd be the perfect time. Well, 11 o'clock last night, he sent me a message. He said, "Hey, I don't know what I was thinking, but it's not the first Thursday; it's the last Thursday." So we had to make schedule changes. Mark had to build another thumbnail to get Matt in there, and we moved Matt up a week, and we're gonna. Jeremy Albritton, I moved him back a week, and now I'm going to have to move him back. And then, but that'll be okay. We're going to make it work. But Eric Massey will be on the last Thursday of this month. So we'll have a lot of fun with Eric. Eric's a great guy too, and makes a lot of videos and very helpful to people like Kim is if they have questions and stuff. Give good quality information.
Couple of quick things here. Ricky Solotex Adventure says it was a serious question. He's wondering if you ever have hooked yourself while trying to learn. I was taking that as a yes when you answered him.
Yes, I have.
Me too.
And then
once
I hooked myself fishing for catfish this week, so it happens to the best of us. Fish and Chick, if you could fix that, so make sure you get entered. You got one too many G's in there.
And this is basically all I take with me if I'm just taking my fly rod. That's it. And my forceps and scissors. That's it.
And the forceps are really good because these fish that we're catching a lot of times with fly rods are so small, and the hooks are so small. You can just reach down in them little bluegill's mouth and unhook it and get it right out. And because nobody wants to keep a fish this long, just release it. But damn, they're fun to catch. They really are.
Even the small ones, they feel like they have a big fight.
That's exactly right. That's why we want to do it.
Yeah.
There's Uncle Josh from the 1 Ton Fishing Club.
What's going on, Josh?
Big brother.
But yeah, what do you say in that second? Are the
third one for the Kim Burnett house fly jigs or flies? I should say.
Rich. Appreciate that a lot.
Here we go, everybody. Make sure you check out Kim's website. It's crappiestoppers.com. You can catch him on all the social media under Crappie Stoppers. You can make sure to get a lot of stuff from him. He's got the best stuff there is out there, probably, with some of the best stuff that you can get. Congratulations, Annette Morgan. Contact Kim Burnett through Facebook, I think is the easiest way, or through his website, crappiestoppers.com. I'm sure his email's up there.
Crappie Stopper Jigs at Gmail. I believe it is, isn't it?
It could be. I could look it up real quick.
crappiestoppers@gmail.com.
Yeah. And, if you have trouble getting a hold of Kim for whatever reason, which I don't think you will, but if you do, you can message me or Mark and we'll get you hooked up.
We will definitely pass that on to him.
Burnett. You're an awesome guy and a hell of a jig builder and fly builder and a great fisherman.
Yeah. He can catch the crap out of some crappie brim. I mean, he's crazy what he can do. And now he's a tie master, or what do they call that? A tie master or something?
I'm not sure.
A jig master, whatever. I don't know what it's called, but it has a master in front of it. It's like a jig master or something. He does it all.
Wow.
Yeah, I just put Kim Burnett's email in chat as well. It's K-Burnett at yahoo.com, I believe. Yeah, 1967.
Again, Kim, thank you so much. Now we're going to do this next giveaway, and Matt's going to give away one. You want to show that to him again, Matt?
Basically, it goes like this.
Wow. That's way cool.
It actually has one where you put it around your waist as well.
Wow. So, a lot of stuff in that.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty decent size.
You put it in the front or back.
All right, Fishing except for the hooks, can I use the same jig tying stuff for flies, threading tools, etc.? What would I need in addition?
Kim's is yahoo.com.
Right. Yahoo? Yeah, that's what I put up there. I said K-Burnett 1967 at yahoo.com.
I think that's a Gmail.
I have 5 of these boxes in this little bag.
That's a lot
of Freddie on there.
Yeah, it's Freddie and Nina.
That's what I thought. Cool.
Yeah, 5.
When Freddie comes on, you call him something, and it's a military term, and I don't know remember what it was. What is it that you call him? Chief or something?
Master Chief.
Was that his rank in the military?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was Master Chief.
Okay.
And I call Nina LT because she was a lieutenant.
Wow.
All right, so we ready to do the drawing for that bag, Matt? Are you ready?
Go for it.
All right. Good luck, everybody. Real Gals Fish says thanks in advance for the bag, Matt. If she won. Oh my goodness. Chad won the bag. Congratulations. Do you love it?
Well, I just contacted them. They said they're out. They sold out.
Matt, thank you so much for giving that bag away. That was totally, we had no idea. Of course, I didn't know that Kim was going to give away any of his stuff either. But we appreciate it very much. It was very nice of you to do that, and I know
somebody time him out.
Do what?
Somebody time him out, maybe.
Chad. He was timed out the other day.
I will not time Chad out. I will not time Chad out. I will not.
Yes, you would. Something flew by here. He cheated.
Oh yeah, that's karma right there.
Well, thank you so much for that, man. I know that Chad D will enjoy that very much. That's awesome for you to do that. And Kim, again, thank you for donating those flies. I got to get some of those one of these days. I had the next, he sent me them indicators. I should have had him throw in a couple of the flies. Never thought about it, but
well, he has a list of jigs that goes on for. I mean, he's always doing orders.
He builds. That's all he does is tie jigs for other people. I mean,
that's why I love going on there watching him tie jigs. I'll just sit there and I'll talk to him, and he just ties jigs, just doesn't skip a beat, and it's just like, man,
that's right. He's amazing. He does really well, and he ties a lot of jigs, and he sends them all over the place. Now, the last time I knew that he was hooked up with a commercial account where he makes them for a store or something. And that in itself will keep you busy pretty much most of the time, usually. And I don't want to get that busy.
Yeah, I won't order flies from, because I went over there's a place over here. It's called Rocks Outfitters. Mm-hmm. They have fly stuff, but I mean, they want $5, $6, and up for flies.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, they had the high dollar fly rods in there and the high dollar bass stuff in there. And I go in there and I'm like, where your business is? You see where your business is? You're not in a rich neighborhood. Right. You're not in a rich area.
We live 20.
But we get a lot of tourism here, the historical factor.
Yeah. We live 20, 30 minutes from Bennett Springs, which is one of the biggest trout hatcheries. And Bennett Springs is a huge spring. You sit there and watch the water come up out of 1 million gallons an hour or a day or whatever it is. It's a huge deal. And little fly shops and, Charlie's Redding's places over there and 2 or 3 others or more. And those guys... You walk in there and you see a fly reel and it's $800. And you wonder who in the hell buys them. But them doctors and lawyers from Kansas City and St. Louis, they come down there to fly fish for a day. They're allowed to buy 2 or 3 of them.
I see people down here from Mississippi fly fish, or over here from Mississippi fly fishing all the time. And I talk to them. They're a bunch of older gentlemen. A lot of them are older gentlemen. Way beyond retired, and they'll come down here and fly fish. And it's like, I can tell by the equipment that they have, they're the ones that are buying those hundreds of dollars and $1,000 fly reel rods. And
You kind of bought everything you need to buy when you get to that age. So you got a little bit of money left. You're going to spend it on your passion. So I can kind of understand that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want the best that you can get, then let's just say you got 20 years or 30 years left. You might as well enjoy it and have the best that you can buy.
Maybe your children don't deserve retirement money. Your estate money. You might as well spend it while you're still kicking, right, Lyle?
That's exactly right. I have every intentions of going through every penny I got before I go.
Amen. Good luck with that.
It won't take long with the gas at $5 and 35
You
cents.
ain't kidding.
Oh my god!
55 here. Anyways,
Yeah, if I get started on that, I might not ever stop.
That's an all-nighter. That's an all-nighter live show right there.
Oh man, it's crazy. It is. Man, I've had a wonderful time with you on here tonight.
I
Man,
learned a
thank
lot.
you so much for joining us.
I appreciate you guys having me on here. I'm really honored to be on your guys' show. I mean, I watch you guys all the time. Obviously, I've met you and Cindy. I hope we get to meet again next Monday or Tuesday, whatever day it was.
Yeah, when
But
you come down to Springfield, maybe we can get together again. That'd be awesome. I do want to remind everybody to go over to the Catfish Weekly group page on Facebook. If you're current military, if you're retired from the military, if you're current duty, and sign up for the giveaway we're having over there. Two bank rod holders from Richard Ward. We appreciate him donating those, and we're going to give them away July 4th week. That's on a Monday. That Richard is all about helping the military folks. I assume that he is former military, but man, this is the second year in a row that he's donated a great prize. There's the other one sitting right there. Um, Great rod rack. He done a wonderful job on that. I have one just a litter mate to it sitting right over there. Thank you so much for that, Richard. But sign up for that. We got a lot more people in this giveaway, Matt, than we had in the last one.
well, I made it my point not to get in this one. I just feel like once you win, once you are gifted something like that, you don't need to. What do you do? How do you feel about yourself when you go in and win again?
I
You can do.
I understand. That's good.
and we give away a lot of stuff, and I used to get in on all the giveaways from other people's stuff, and if by chance I happen to win, I would donate it back for them to give it away. And it got to be where I've actually won two or three of them, and I kept one thing, and I don't remember now what it was, but I kept one thing, and I got ridiculed about it, so I just quit entering them.
I enter them, but like you guys usually know, I would say, hey, give it to this person or send
Yeah,
it to this
I've
person.
seen you do that and send it to such and such, and I've done that because you requested it done, and that's a very cool deal to do. So, but yeah, I've had a wonderful time, Matt. I'm so glad you joined us, and of course, if there's anything we can do to help you at any time, we're always willing and able, or if we can, we'll be glad to.
I
Uncle
really
Jack,
appreciate it.
thank you for your service, and I agree. I want to say thank you as well.
Appreciate it.
What else? What else you got, Lyle?
I got this right here. If I can find it, it moved on me really fast.
While I was looking for that, I will be fishing tomorrow if everything goes well. Late night after the Kirkpatrick's tournament. We got the Kirkpatrick's tournament tomorrow evening, I believe 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Is it, or is it 5? All I know is it ends at 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. Central Time. So check their channel out for the details. They're going to be on Saturday night as well. And we cannot forget the ladies tournament over on Fields to Water Saturday morning. Get over there, support the ladies, give them root for your favorite, root for them all, which is what I'm going to do.
That's exactly right. Chad says he's not giving back his fanny pack.
Yep, I saw that.
I see Michelle is in here with It's All Mine. Kentucky Redneck Outdoors. It is the Catfish Weekly group page on Facebook is where you sign up. It's pinned to the top of that page. So just go over there and sign up. We'd love to have you on there. Our military personnel and former military personnel is the most wonderful resource we have in the United States of America. And there's nothing we can do. We can't give back enough for what they've given to us. So if you are part of that group, please sign up. We would love to have as many of you able to win this as we can, because there's going to be 2 of those bank rod holders, and they're very nice. Very nice. And like I say, Richard Ward done a great job. Joe Buck 66. Anything else, Mark?
Nope, just fishing tomorrow night, and then I'm either going to have a guest on Monday or I'm going to be fishing live again. I'm waiting to hear back from somebody, so we will have a show after Catfish Weekly on Monday night, definitely.
That'd be great. And don't forget to tune back in here next Thursday night. We're right after the bait shop with the Chad. Thanks, Matt, for joining us. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.